Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the This Is The Music Meets podcast. I'm delighted that one of the most exciting bands on the new music scene, the Silver Lines, are today's guests. Over the course of today's podcast, we're going to chat about the band's explosive new single, Blow Dry, playing in America, and the band's plans for the rest of 2023. I'm joined by Joe and Dan. Thanks very much for coming on the This Is The Music Meets podcast. How are you both doing?
Cheers, Mark.
I didn't just ruin your intro then, did I?
No, I don't think so. No, it's absolutely fine at all. And as I say, it's great to have you both on. And I've been sort of like a big fan, I guess you'd say, of you guys for quite a while now. But I'm not really sure how actually did you get together?
Me and him are brothers.
Yeah.
Well, we met in the room.
Yeah.
So we did it. We used to wrote together and stuff like that when we were, I don't know, 15 years old or something. Is that when we started? Around then? Something like that. And then did some open mics and stuff like that together around Kidderminster, Stourbridge, where we're from.
Yeah.
And then it sort of started writing songs, and then we were at uni and tried to get a band together, but couldn't get a solid lineup could get a 3-month bit with a couple of members. At one point we did a 3-piece without a bass. We couldn't get a bass player, and then we managed to get a bass player, and then it all fell apart and everything because people weren't committed and stuff like that.
Horrible. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, because we were horrible.
Yeah. And then we came back from uni 2019. Boom, Kindo comes in, and the drummer, and then Joe Cartwright comes in the end of 2019. Then we're fully set, and then lockdown hits.
We had a great mix. So we met Kindo July 2019, I think.
Got the sound. We practiced all the time for about 3 months just with Kindo, didn't we? Another bass player, they're not right. Another bass player, they're not right. They're not right. And then we're coming to the end of our tether with it, and then Kinder's like, do you know what? I didn't want to ask him, but I've got this mate, he's a bit quiet and all that, but he plays the guitar and he looks good. Let's go and get him in. And then we said, come on, Joe, do you want to do it? And then he did it. And then
this is Joe Cartwright. This is Joe Cartwright, the bass player. Yeah. So the end of 2019, we had we were on a bit of a roll. Got our first ever sold out gig in Birmingham at the Victoria. And then we got played on Radio 1, and then we got invited to go to America, the New Colossus Festival, for March 2020. So we're thinking, God,
this is the space of 6 months. This was,
yeah.
And we're thinking lockdown hits, and we think, we're going to be massive. We're going to do everything, and then lockdown hits, and then it's what do we do now?
Yeah, but I think so. We got the last flight out of America on March 2020. We got literally the last flight out. We were questioning whether we were going to go back.
Yeah,
we had such a good time. We wanted to stay out. We met some people and everything. We thought, let's stay out there. It's brilliant out here. And thought that we formed the basis of Hotel Room, the last single, while we were out there in 2020, and finalized that.
Well, we had an experience in New York that no one else ever will, because Times Square was empty.
Yeah, sure.
When we got the flight out, they literally just let us walk out. They didn't even check anything. They were just get out of here.
Yeah. So it was good fun though, but it was the weirdest experience ever in New York. And then we got lockdown hit, and we were all separated. So we were what are we going to do now? And we had all these tunes. We did that EP Sleaze.
Yeah.
And we had all the tunes for that knocking around, and there's a bit different styles that we probably wouldn't have released if lockdown had hit.
But we wouldn't have written them if we'd have been practicing together as a band. It was because it was all done over the phone, not the vocals, mind, but all the ideas and stuff are all done over the phone and voice memos. That's why we're using like drum loops and stuff a lot through that EP. Right. And then lockdown, we come out of lockdown, and then we class ourselves really. So when August 2021 hit, that's when we really went to Birmingham, right? Yeah. Because we'd literally just done 1 or 2 gigs in Birmingham. We'd literally just come back home. We'd gone to America. No one knew about us. lockdown.
And that sold out gig was like the one in the Victorian 29 was like quite like a friends and family sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
Sort of thing,
sure.
yeah.
Like
Still
like your first that's what every first band's gigs like, sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then we came into Birmingham properly in August 2021. So no one had heard of us before then. And then 2021 August, we did a day festival in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then some people were like, yeah, they're pretty good. And then we got known then in Birmingham.
Right.
Much to some people's dismay. But yeah, it was a bit, we ruffled a few feathers because it was like we were sort of here then. And then,
I think people felt we hadn't maybe we hadn't paid our dues sort of thing, because we came where they saw us like fully formed essentially. But I think what people didn't see was like the few years before.
Open mics, but all the open mics and stuff that we did was like, it's not like we were the band really. You know?
Just turning up like on that for that first, well, in the 2021 gig for like the first time, yeah. So kind of like, so sorry, because so kind of like obviously you've mentioned the EP Sleaze. So was that kind of like, because obviously it was quite a different sound that you had going on compared to like the sort of, was it 2 singles I think you put out prior to that? So was that then like a deliberate decision to go like to mix it up a little bit, so like in the sound, or did it just kind of like just sort of happen naturally?
It was deliberate because we were in this scene full of people that just did the same song after and after again. It still happens now. I'm not going to name any names, but I can tell you every which band in every scene, whether it's Sheffield or Birmingham or London, exactly what their next song is going to sound like, exactly like the last one. And then we thought, it's true, isn't it? And then so then we had these tunes and we were like, Jesus Christ, we put this together in an EP because we can write other stuff. We can do other stuff. We like rock and roll and we like punk music. Like it's garage rock is our forte, as much as it's just stripped back, real cheap, real dirty. That's our what we're really good at, but we can still write. And it was like, well, we've got these songs and let's stick them out and see what happens with it, really. And then it's kind of like built from that EP.
But that EP, there's like a few of them were like we were messing around with things over lockdown, like Love Made, the bass line was a bass line reversed. We had we've used that
no one
knows
about this.
And no one knows that we finished the set list at the moment on an 8-minute song, and we have done for ages. And when we play it live, we've got to properly record it, but I think we want to redo it properly. We'll leave that for the album or something. But we finished on an 8-minute, and it's got this cool little bass drop. And we were in lockdown, and we reversed it, and then made the Love Made over that, because it's just we did the bass loop and then added like.
You're surprised now?
I am, yeah, because because to be honest, kind of like what you were just saying there, Dan, about you already know what the next song from other bands is going to be, like the sound and that.
Yeah.
Like personally, from when I've been doing this, you don't find too much. I'm not going to say like secrets, but kind of like the method, if that makes sense, in terms of how you actually got to the sound. So I'm surprised, but quite excited and intrigued at the same time.
So it was but all the thing, it was done over the phone. So like I'd get sent apart. I would say, let's try it like this, and then someone would go away with it sent apart from it, and then someone would come away and like they'd add this bit, add the synths to it and the vocals, and we were like arguing over the BPM of it and stuff like that.
Love Made was really fast to start with.
Yeah.
And then we slowed it right down to make it feel a bit like heavy.
Yeah. And then but like even the last track on the EP, that little 1 minute, what's it called, Packet Racket.
That was like we had spare like hour in the studio. We'd booked out 3 days to record the EP. So we did 5 tracks in 3 days, to be fair. And we'd finished.
But the thing is, though, what other people don't know is that some of those, like the demos we used the demos that we made and like updated them. So it was kind of like an amalgamation of things, wasn't it? Okay. It was like all the stuff that we've been sending, bits of that we used and things like that, and then we might add some guitars in and then do it this way. Had the ideas and finalized it and produced it in the studio. So it was a whole different process. But that Packet Racket, what was it? Last hour of the studio, We just
and
thought,
then
let's have
I
a little
wanted
fun
to do
track.
a chant at the end, didn't I? And
Yeah.
then some of the ideas for the chants weren't really allowed.
Yeah.
We always had this, yeah, I was gonna get cancelled. Kindo and Joe always sang this song. Well, we always sang it in the Boozer, didn't we?
There's a recording of us singing it in the like a Weatherspoons in Birmingham. Maybe
Right.
after we came back from New York or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
all I
was it
want to
then?
do is do a Silver Line Tonight. And
Yeah.
then we just chanted that all together, one take, and we're all shouting and screaming and stuff and being stupid. And then Joe and Kindo did some magic on the keyboard, got some drum sounds from the keyboard, and then we just stuck that on the end. So
there you go.
So yeah,
it's a fantastic. It really is a fantastic EP, and that kind of like brings us up in terms of the music releases at least. Obviously, Blow Dry came out last week. It's got a real sort of like punk vibe sort of about it, and I've had it on repeat since it came out. But kind of like, again, sort of what you were just saying there about the EP. How did this song come about? And again, was it quite a straightforward decision to try and, you know, mix the sound up again a little bit?
Yeah, exactly that. But basically, we went through. We were arguing, me and Joe, and I was getting pissed off. Can I swear or not?
Yeah, it's fine. Carry on.
I was getting pissed off, and Joe was also getting pissed off because Joe was coming to me with things, and I was being a bit of an ass and saying I don't like it and this, that, and the other, wasn't it really? And then we just kind of Joe was just like, "Well, fucking do this, Dan," and it was just 2 chords, and then we just built the track around that, wasn't it? Basically.
Yeah, and that good little. I like the middle 8 as well. It all came together pretty fast. There is There are the real lyrics to it. We've not released the you want to get cancelled again. The proper lyrics that we'll do an EP at the end of the year that we're currently writing and we're recording in the next month or 2.
Yeah.
I'll be recording bits of it over a bit of time.
And we'll put the uncensored version. You can imagine what it really should have been called, Blow Dry.
Well, I'm getting an idea. If you're saying about Pocket Rocket, you almost getting yourself cancelled if you'd release that. I've got an idea.
It was a great open line, but we like all that. There's like all the grime artists and everything, all the hip hop and people like that at the moment, and they're saying like outlandish sort of stuff, and they're getting like so much.
We're not allowed to, but we can really. But it's just that I don't know.
To be fair, that wasn't any of us thing. That was the producer going like, I don't think you should do this. But I think we might add it. We've not fully decided yet. We might be the explicit version on the EP, the next EP, or it might not, or it might just be a B-side or something, just to get it out there.
But yeah, it was deliberate that we went to something heavy, because we've noticed a little bit, like we've always had a heavy streak to us, and then we've noticed a little bit in the scene, some of the people were like tittering with being heavy, and we were just like, you know what, we'll show you what heavy tune is, but like not to be like metal,
I know what you mean,
to be like in your face sort of thing, like really like bring it back to like, wow, you know.
Definitely. Oh no, go on, sorry, Joe.
I just said like a bit White Stripes, a bit like that sort of stuff on there. Some of them like Blue Orchid or Icky Thump, a little bit like that. Which isn't metal, but it's got that like it's a garage rock.
It's just the blues, isn't it? That's basically what we do. It's blues singing and blues guitar. It's all blues really, and it's just well produced, and that's that.
Yeah, there you go. So obviously, as we were chatting just off of air, you're obviously flying off to America. For your 3rd tour in a couple of days' time. You've got 2 dates in New York City and 3 dates as well in LA. So kind of like reflecting back on the 2 previous tours that you've done, kind of like what have been the highlights, what stood out for you guys being over there, and kind of like what's it like playing in front of an American audience compared to playing back here in England?
The Americans like us more than English people because you can be more arrogant in America, and they think because they all say they're good. If you say you're good in America, they go, "That's brilliant, you're good." And if you say you're good in England, they're like, "Oh, what's he on?" Everyone's a bit modest, but also it's to do with the Beatles and the Stones. The Stones are massive in America, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they get the blues basically in America, and they're like always reviving it. Whereas in England, it's all rooted in the Beatles. So it's all jingle jangle, like all the melodies and stuff, and it's all a bit saturated with that. And it's got to a point in England where like every band is talking about like Ciders in the Park and stuff, isn't it, Joe? You know,
it's a bit like
my hometown and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's all like very. It's very like it's almost very English. That English. They talk about things only English people would understand.
Yeah,
we don't really talk about stuff like that. We talk about like wanting to be massive or sex or stupid stuff.
No, well, as we know, what is it? No sex, please. We're British and stuff like that. So no, I totally get it.
So the Americans really kind of like, because we played with a few English bands when we first went to New York for that festival. Yeah, and they at the time were way bigger than we were, because we were just starting out. But we were like, oh shit, like they're like doing the biz in England and stuff, and then they were just flat. Wow. In America, they didn't get it. It was all like the accent was all too English. What they were talking about was too English. There's too many synths going on and stuff. And then we were a real stark comparison in the fact, like, because everyone always says we're like a lost 70s like EBGB's band or what?
CBGB's.
EBGB's is the one in Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah, CBGB's that 70s club with Ramones and Blondie and that.
Yeah.
We get a bit of that, a bit of the Stooges sort of thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. But
that kind of all of that like sits better with us in like we like the land of excess more. It's like all of it modest. It's like, well, that's kind of what you do it for, isn't it? For all the excesses.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Wait till I smash my first hotel room up. Don't you worry about that.
I mean, it's no fun if you can't have fun. Like,
no, absolutely. I thought you got to. You know, it's part of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, isn't it? As they say.
Not that we do any of that. But
we're
and kind of like just carrying on with the tour theme. Obviously, you clearly you're taking a short break from the UK tour, as we just said, you're off to America, but you've got a massive show, which I think is it sold out? I'm not sure, at the Rainbow in Birmingham in March.
By the next time it should sell out. Yeah.
And obviously you've added a couple of gigs as well, and you've playing Manchester, and you've got is it your City Festival as well, which has been added to. So kind of like what because this is your first sort of proper UK tour, right? Because obviously as we were talking before. So what's the reaction been like from your point of view, from like seeing the fans and that getting out there, and what have they thought to you guys?
I just think we're class.
We're getting people like going mad in the crowd, like moshing and like going. We got to a couple of new songs, and we got a new song called "Cocaine," which gets everyone chanting. And this will be like this will be on the EP.
Yeah,
we've got a proper banger on our hands here at the moment. Like people are coming on stage going, "What's that song, Cocaine? When are you going to release that?" People are messaging us going, "That one, what's that one?" That's like
And then we know it's getting good when we're playing away, and we know we can play that good when we play away, that we don't have to like worry about where we're going to stay, because someone will take us under their wing because they enjoyed it so much, and we can stay at theirs. That's just the way it's been going. Shout out Dave from Wrexham.
He took us out all night, bought us beers all night, and
we met, the bootlegger.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah,
the bootlegger in Wrexham, and he posted us on a story.
He introduced us to what honey tequila, which is like, I hate tequila normally, but honey tequila is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes down smoothly. It's like cough medicine.
Yeah.
Not quite as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Then by the sound,
it's really nice.
I don't know if I've got it round my way.
Yeah, so he took us around Wrexham in his little Mini with all the gear in. So we're all crammed in the car, and we're all zooming around Wrexham, and he was like, look at this place. Right, I'll take you in here now. And then took us in there, had a few drinks, and then we saw all the people that had come to see us. and then it was just mad. This is what it's been like.
When we walked into the bar, the bar or the pub, whatever it was, the bar, everyone was cheering. Everyone was like, yeah.
Great stuff. Well, it's brilliant to hear that you know the tour, you're obviously smashing it. But kind of like, have you got any like pre-gig rituals or maybe a must-have for the tour rider?
Not really. Just get up and do it.
Basically, we get called when some bands sound check who we played it, and they can go on and on for ages and ages. We can literally do a sound check in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that.
We have like Joe's got about 3 pedals on his pedal board,
and I still don't know what half of them do. If it's got more than 4 knobs on it, I don't know what 2 of them do at least.
The band comes in and they have to have a second person to carry the pedal board in, then we know we'll blow them out. That's only for U2 level, that is. You don't need it little.
No, definitely not. So kind of like here at This Is The Music, we kind of like try to, to sort of champion, up and coming bands like the Silver Lines. So kind of like over the last sort of 12 months, are there any bands at all, or maybe a solo artist that has caught your attention that you've really enjoyed listening to?
We like Johnny Ash, the lads in Wrexham. They're good lads. They're good song. My Hometown and Rosie, good songs that they're doing. They're probably our favourite one, and we're quite close to them, to be honest. But there's a good like scene going around. Who did we have at the headline? We had like the Mercians and things like that. They were good bands.
All right. Yeah.
So there's all these like
good energy. But we still haven't found anyone yet that's doing what we're doing. We thought we haven't really, have we? We haven't played a gig. What's that, Joe?
Yeah, I think that's good though. I think that sets us that's what sets us apart, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we thought the Fontaines, because when we were just starting, we thought the Fontaines, when they did Boys in the Better Land, we thought, shit, that's the song, that's what we want to be doing. Mm-hmm. They're kind of taking a bit of a different direction now. They're a bit more artsy, aren't they now? And like I said, no one's really taken, even in the mainstream or the small time, no one's taken like what we're trying to do. But like you do get some punk acts, but it's still like the real speaky. And it's real, like they've read a lot of books and they talk about stuff I've never heard of, And no, like that I don't really understand. But like he's got his place, and there's a real cult going around with that, like Murder Capital. That's like a thing. They're very similar. You've got a lot of a subsection in like the underground scene that doing that. But we haven't come across people that want to be massive, like, do you know what I mean? Without being too crazy.
Yeah, it's more like they're just doing it because they want to do it. That's it. They're happy at that level, like
Yeah,
I think that's our problem. We're not happy at this level.
Oh, is that what I think?
It's never enough.
I think personally, you've got to do it. You've got to, you want to be the best, right? There's no.
Yeah, we'll die trying.
In my opinion, go for it. Absolutely. So. Obviously, as you guys know, there's been a certain DJ, Chris Moyles, obviously made a few comments about unsigned bands being crap, and that's why they're never going to get played on his particular show. So, kind of like for you, what do you think about that? Do you think that's a fair comment, or do you think he's talking out of crap?
It's a bit silly.
I think he's just trying to stir some stuff up, isn't he? Get his name out there a bit more. Exactly what
publicity.
Yeah, you knew what he was doing and did that, and everyone's talking about him again. He's relevant. When was he last relevant? That's the thing. That is true, isn't it? When was he last relevant? Suddenly he's all over every front page. Everyone's speaking about him. He'll be at all the big gigs this year because everyone wants Chris Moyles there or something. I think that's probably the main thing. And I think he genuinely believes what he says. That's it. But I don't know. I don't agree with it because I don't think he's on a radio station and it's not giving the bands a fair chance. But I kind of think, well, I guess that's unsigned music gets pushed to the like midnight hours of like the BBC introducing and the Radio X.
Listen to Jack Saunders' show, who's championing all the new music. I mean, I don't think I've heard one yet that hasn't got some sort of backing. Or
even if you look on the introducing thing, they've all got their record labels underneath it, so they're not So they've still got like, they're still in the category above literally all the bands that we know and everything like that. So there is a quiet thing. Even bands that are going around saying they haven't got any backing, I think if you look closely, they do have a fair bit of backing.
No, definitely.
If you can get a van or something like that and someone's driving you, then you ain't pulling that out your pocket, are you really? Someone's paying.
Considering what we're going like this, we were just talking on the phone earlier about how much we could spend on taxis in America.
we're like divvying up how much we can spend. So we found this place last time we went in New York called Rudy's Bar and Grill, right? And you can get 4 pitchers, which is 4 pints.
Is it schooners though?
Well, American pints, so they're not quite as big.
No.
You can get up to $13. So this is what we're looking at when we're going around. Like, how much can we have for beer? How much is going to get taken off for our taxis and stuff that we need back and from the airports? How much is going to do this, like that? And that's the sort of the game we're playing in at the moment. We're not playing in someone's just giving us 10 grand back in. Here you go on a tour with these guys. You're going to get your hot meals. You're going to get this. This isn't.
Yeah.
But then they'll all say that, but they're not doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, sure, definitely. Yeah, well, I think that's part of not the experience, but I think that probably like makes you probably like a little bit tighter as a band, I'm assuming as well, right?
Makes you more of a scallywag. Makes you more of a chancer. It's amazing. It's amazing, like the lines you can say to get yourself a free beer now. I've learned so much. You know, all the tricks.
We'll save that for another podcast. So kind of like sort of almost, I guess maybe like from going right back to the very beginning, really, in a way, kind of like, who were your like musical like influences or idols growing up, or you know, and are they still influencing you now in like what you're doing with the music and stuff?
Well, for me it was like true frontmen, so like Jagger and Morrison, those guys that were real great looking but didn't do a lot and didn't play any instruments and just work the crowd and just look really cool and stuff like that. Even Liam Gallagher, dare I say, 94 Liam Gallagher, not the one that you've got on your wall there. He's not my favourite version. Hope he doesn't hear this and absolutely slate us. Maybe it'll be good publicity. 94 Liam Gallagher, which everyone doesn't realise this, right? But when Oasis came onto the scene, they were a punk band. They weren't really like the mega anthem sort of thing. They were DIY. The clothes they wore were their own clothes, and there wasn't like the zipped up to the top parkas and all that sort of stuff. It was a real different thing. But everyone that likes Oasis and copies Oasis copies
the 95, 96 onwards,
Like when, So if we were we love Definitely Maybe and like all those ones. Those are like the best songs for us, for them. But like everyone seems to forget, like he didn't sing then, he shouted at that in that first 2 years, didn't he, Joe? But
but what else do we like? Just like the Rolling Stones and Bob Dylan, people like that. That's like, but I don't know, do they still influence us now? What they did when they were relevant influences, but what they do now doesn't really do it. Doesn't do that.
So like Jumpin' Jack Flash, that was like a mega song for us. The Brown Sugar as well. I can't believe they decided to take that out because they shouldn't have. But
they got cancelled, didn't they? But that run of Stones albums from Beggar's Banquet to Exile on Main Street and things like that.
I like Black and Blue as well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Goat's Head Soup
and then I love LA Woman and Morrison Hotel. I like the Doors' debut as well. The first one with Break On Through on. Iggy and the Stooges, Raw Power, that's a really good one. Even AC/DC, Down Payment Blues, what's that one? Power Age.
I think so.
Bon Scott, he's serious, man. Serious, isn't he? But he's a really good front man as well.
That first Velvet Underground album, that's a good album as well.
That's a good one.
So it's nothing after 1978.
or before that. And then the debut Roses album.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go on, Joe.
I was gonna say that Love Made. The Stone Roses did a song on that album where they reversed it, and that was the idea
the used to reverse stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, I've got a pedal apparently that reverse. I've got a pedal that can reverse stuff. I don't know how to use it though.
Let's not do it then. But then we've got to remember we're a three-piece. Even though there's four of us, we're a three-piece. So we have a really different sound in the sense of we're all stark, we're all naked on stage basically. We don't have that second guitar to hide behind. The bass player now has to play the bass. He's got to be able to be the rhythm guitar. He's also got to keep the bottom going. So
it's not just root notes.
Joe's got to play lead and rhythm as well. Like it's like all got to mesh together. So Led Zeppelin did it, U2 did it, Nirvana did it, Stone Roses did it. Probably Stone Roses one of the best. Chili Peppers. Yeah, the drummer Kindo, he loves the Chili Peppers. We all like the Chili Peppers, to be honest with you, don't we? Like Parallel Universe and all that. That's a great song. The Chili Peppers didn't come into it until they were later, did they? Really?
I like that. That first Mother's Milk and that Blood Sugar Sex Magic album. I like those albums.
So they're a fantastic band, and just kind of like going back now then to you guys, kind of like what are the plans if you've made any? I'm not sure. For like the rest of 2023.
What's that? What'd you say, Dan?
You've always got to have a plan.
Yeah, that is it. What's it? We've got festivals.
Stockton. We've got about 4 or 5 big festivals which didn't get last year.
Yeah, have got to be announced. So we've got a few that are going to be announced in the next coming months or something like that. We'll do an EP and we'll do a couple of singles from the EP before it. So maybe
an EP will be a little bit different as well. Have some really good ones on, really good songs.
Maybe a bit more like hotel room sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
But with a couple of punk on it. But it's going to be quite lyrical again.
Yeah, and we'll do that with a headline tour, a short headline tour at the end of the year. And then have we got any other plans? That's it really.
But it's just like we've got on to the festivals like probably a year quicker than we should have done.
Maybe try and do some European dates. I think I'm trying to have a look into that, which would be quite cool.
When you look at the bands that we're playing with on these festivals, have been going since about 2015, 2016, whereas we've been going since 2019, but we classed 2021 in Birmingham sort of our AD, not BC, because of lockdown and that. And then we sort of did last year, and then we got like a few like Z-list festivals. It was good to do. Yeah. And then this year, now we're starting to get like Stockton calling, and we've just kind of like managed to just keep it rolling, really. So I think some of the other bands are thinking, oh shit, like we're on the tail, which we are. Don't forget that.
Brilliant. That is great stuff, and I'm hoping as well that if you do get that headline tour later on in the year, that hopefully you'll be down in London again, and I'll be able to pop along, because unfortunately I missed the date you did a couple of weeks ago. But Joe and Dan, that is the end of the This Is The Music Meets the Silver Lines podcast. Thank you both so much for coming on. I really enjoyed it. It was a great laugh.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
And wish you both, and the band, of course, the best of luck with this American tour, and obviously continued success as well with the new single. And obviously everything else that you've got coming up, because it sounds like a very, very exciting time to be not just in the band of the Silver Lines, but also as well a fan as well. So as I say, thanks very much for coming on, and we will hopefully see you both very, very soon.
Pleasure, mate.
Thanks, good interview, mate.
Cheers, man.
See you in a bit.
See you later.
See ya. All that leaves me to say is to thank everyone who has listened to the latest This Is The Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you are loving the podcast, please show us some love by giving us a 5-star rating and written review, as it really does help the artists we interview to be discovered. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again very soon.